What is up, rockers? Welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms content. I'm Shinchi42, and as you can see, we are in KVK, and we fought our King's Land. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link on the description and as well as a card. We streamed it for about 4 hours, I believe. But here's the thing. There's a lot of things that have changed in Rise of Kingdoms, and I don't agree in some of them. And we're going to discuss that today, and how hopefully, perhaps we can change the way the game is being played, because I feel like there's no more strategy into the game, and I feel like it's just insane when people can really take advantage of the situations. Playing from 2 years ago and comparison, maybe even a year ago, comparison to what it is now, I feel like there's not a whole lot of strategies involved on winning in Rise of Kingdoms anymore. So, as you know, and I am not going to deny that our opponent is extremely stronger than us, has a very active, players, and they were very good in the open field. But there's this thing as an issue that I really want to discuss. Now, I know some of you guys may dislike what I'm going to say, but I am going to tell you the truth, and the truth may hurt for some people. But I feel like majority of the players will also agree on what I can provide in here, what I can say. I do encourage for you to watch this video entirely, because if you really want to get my entire point of view, skipping through the videos is really not going to help you, with your argument eventually anyway. Here's what I've noticed. I really did not enjoy fighting in King's Land. Now, I've been in King's Land before, in different KVKs. This is going to be my 5th KVK, and I feel like, especially from KVK 1 and KVK 2, I feel like in here where I am now, as we've moved up to the Imperium status as well, I feel like the enjoyment wasn't there. I really didn't have fun. I think I wouldn't say I didn't have fun. I had fun, but I feel like it's not up to par to where it was before. And it's the matter of the fact that people just swarms flags and rallies, and if you haven't seen the video, check it out, our live stream. And our rally was just our flags was just swarmed with like hundreds of marches in there. I'm exaggerating, probably hundreds in there, but maybe like 20-30 marches swarming. It's just insane. And yes, you can say that it's part of the strategy to bring a majority of the people into the open field, but in my opinion, I think it's so different from when I used to play this game. There's no ability to do a counter rally, because your flag just gets rallied and then gets swarmed at the same time. And at the same time, your rally, when you try to rally, when we were trying to rally, our rally just gets swarmed all the way. And I feel like the game should really change, because the players that swarms the rally or the flag are generally the players who has the most capability to spend into the game. And that's what, maybe about, I don't know, 10-20% of the players of Rise of Kingdoms. Honestly, as I thought about it before, I thought it'd be much smaller fraction of players, but I feel like there's actually a lot of spenders in Rise of Kingdoms, in my opinion. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it, because it supports the game, and it really creates this interesting gap between low spenders and as well as free to play. But I feel like the spenders is okay, right? There may be some gap, and I think some gap is fine, but the gap that I've seen this time is insane. Like I said, we launched rallies, we had flags defending, and they just swarm it like there's no tomorrow. It seems like the players that were playing this game in our KVK, and eventually could be in your KVK one day, you might be experiencing, or you have experienced this in other KVK, is that they don't care about the losses. And majority of the players, I'd say maybe the 80% or 90% of the players in here cares about their troops, their losses, and they don't just have the capability to train massive amount of troops right away. So I'm really proposing is that eventually is that Rise of Kingdoms can have, restriction on how many marches can actually swarm a flag, or how many marches can only swarm a rally as well, because there's no potential strategy anymore to where like, oh, okay, I'm gonna cast a rally, we'll get counter rally. There's no more point when you have all these excessive amount of players to just swarm a rally. The rally doesn't survive, no matter if it's Attila and Takeda. If it's swarmed by like 20 players that are, huge spender in the 150 million player, like they can afford the losses. They can just, I feel like it just ruins the experience for majority of the people, and I can say that it kind of ruined a little bit of my experience there. This is my first time getting into the Imperium status, so this is my first time seeing like um very high powerful players that can just like insanely swarm a flag and insanely swarm um the rallies before it even reached the flag. I feel like Rise of Kingdoms need to change some mechanics to allow greater strategies to be implemented, and to allow more of a fair gaming. In my opinion, I feel like it wasn't kind of fair when that really happened. Now, I don't mind it if they have like the strongest, players, but I feel like if everything can just, swarm a rally, I feel like there's really no strategy in there. It's like, there's no point of fighting when you are against a kingdom that is, maybe 15 times your financial capability of your kingdom. There's no way. As much as I hate to say it, but I felt like in this KVK, I really felt the pay to win status compared to what I have experienced in my previous KVK. So, I hate to say it, honestly. I hate to say that because, I'm sure a lot of people would quote me on that. But honestly, I think Rise of Kingdoms just need to modify the battle mechanics of this game to where like it allows more strategy. And I'm gonna push this. And some of you guys may not like what I just said. You guys can hate me on it. I'm used to it already. But think about the normal players of this game, people that want to enjoy this game. Like, I'm sure majority of the players here still enjoyed, but I'm sure some of the players here also did not enjoy the kind of war that we've experienced, to where like we can't even defend a flag because they just like circle it, surround it, and swarm it right away. There's no value. They didn't even need to rally us at some point. They just swarm it, they just knock it out, full troops inside. you know they didn't get a whole lot of losses because they had so much troops that distributes the losses, right? Like individually, they didn't get massive losses from there. So I really think, I know I'm kind of repeating myself. I kind of really think that we need to improve the game to where we need to allow, a strategy type of game, because there was literally the only strategy that I saw in this KVK is probably the dropping of flags, and I think we did an amazing job here in 1382. We put some flags in there. We were able to touch in here by this area, I believe. I believe that was a good strategy. I mean, they had a good strategy as well. Placement of alliances, fighting. That's a good one, I would say. But the point that they can just swarm our flag and swarm our rally intensely and just without hesitation, I feel like there's really no strategy when it comes to that. And that, I may be a little bit bitter. It's not about losing, it's about enjoyment. And I feel like I didn't really enjoy as much from what I used to play, Rise of Kingdoms and KVK and even Alliance Wars. I feel like there's really a massive gap and massive changes from 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, or even a year ago from today. As you guys know, today there's more and more like whales coming into Rise of Kingdoms, and to have this balance, I think we need to have a limitation on how many players can swarm a rally and how many players can swarm a flag, because I feel like it's not fair. Let's say you're defending your fortress and everybody just swarms that and knock it out, like, gone. with that being said, I mean, we lost. It's part of the game. We know the mechanics coming in. I just want to say congratulations to them for, really having a very good field presence. They pick right allies as well. They have strong alliance. With that said, to me, I teleported at some point within 4 hours of the fight, and I said, I think it's over. I think it's done. It's because I've realized that there's no value for us to really fight, and that we're just like wasting our troops at that point. I'm not capable of spending hundreds and thousands of dollars into the game. I spend maybe a couple thousand in once like 3 months, or recently I've actually cut down my spending. Maybe I've spent 1,000 in 2 months or something like that. But some of the players in here, it spends hundreds of thousands of dollars into the game, and majority of the players aren't really capable of doing that. And I urge Lilith, I urge the game to change and modify the battle mechanics, because I feel like even though we don't have a whole lot of these whales, they're out there, right? They're there, and when you actually match with them, it's insane. That what they can do is insane, because they would just their money just dissipate, and they don't care. For us, if we lose a whole lot, it hurts us. For them, it's nothing. So I think the best way to balance it out is really to modify how many can swarm and how many can really knock a flag down. I think that's my ultimate suggestion. I mean, if you guys have a better suggestion, I mean, let us know. I'm sure everybody would be willing to hear it out, right? I'm sure none of the free-to-plays that they have, or none of the lower medium spenders that they have, really swarmed flags and really just like gave up their troops in here. But they have really insane amount of whale players, and I feel like matchmaking as well. Rise of Kingdoms needs to make a better matchmaking in here, because it's kind of terrible the way they're doing things. Let's say if they're very, very strong kingdom that are matching here, they need to match them in a different realm or something, or at least they would like shuffle the matchmaking and say that it's an error because they cannot find any matches to match them. I feel like that'll be a little bit more fair, in my opinion. But honestly, overall we were outnumbered, and we accept the. I would say, I can't really speak for the entire team, but I mean, what they have done is they pulled back. So I would say I can only speak for myself. For me, I accept the loss. I think they were just like so much more players than us. But I think maybe the next KVK with the new map could change a little bit of things. But honestly, I think changes in the battle mechanics would definitely solve a lot of issues as well, to where like we can limit these pay to wins to prevent from swarming flags intensively, and make them pay a little bit more if they are doing that, because it's just insane that they don't even hesitate on doing that. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. I feel like I kind of rambled a little bit in there, but I was just like, this is my passion. I enjoy this game, and I felt like today, I felt like, I don't know, I feel like I didn't have that enjoyment as much, because usually we would spend wars, hours and hours, and it'd be fun. But I felt like at this matchup, it wasn't fun, because they just have more, greenbacks. But I think even with that situation, if they consider my suggestion from this video, I think it would change a lot of the battle mechanics and allow more strategy. So if you like strategy, you should back this up. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.